Griffith, it's such a marvellous impression of John McEnroe, and you made something of a speciality of impressions in Not the 9 O'Clock News. How did all of that develop?
Well, it was more by accident than anything else, because, well, you see, when I did the first series, I wasn't in the show very much. You could just see my hand and my back and things like that appear. And when it got to the end, the last programme, and at the time, Donald Sinden was doing a thing called Looking at Churches or Investigating Churches. And I was up in the bar, where I was usually found, and with a writer, and I started doing a Donald Sinden sort of bit. And from then on, I sort of got into the show, and they gave me all the impersonations. They didn't ask me beforehand if I could do them. They just said, you know, here we are, Griff, you're the impersonator, so you go away and do these things. And I got some very odd people, but I couldn't do it all.
For example?
Well, I don't know if anybody saw my James Burke. Did anybody see that? No. Well, good. There was nothing like James Burke. I don't know who it was like, but it was nothing like James Burke.
You did Parky as well. Was he hard to do?
Yeah, he took a bit of time. Yes, because most of them I used to make up on a bicycle as I was going to work, you know. I mean, I didn't really spend a lot of... I know Pamela used to sit in front of the video machine, but I always used to think if I could just get one word, I was all right. And, I mean, like Donald Sinden, the word was actor. If I got the actor bit, then obviously you can go into Donald Sinden without any trouble at all. And, but Parkinson took ages because he doesn't use one word. And so so ultimately I had to sit down and just listen to him for hours. And
in the case of John McEnroe, which obviously became a classic, is he difficult to do?
No, I'm afraid. It's just a lot of shouting in American accent. I don't know if that should sound... That's all it was. And the wig helped a bit, I thought, you know. And the shorts and all that helped you give you an indication of who it was.
But he became so popular, though, didn't you work him into the stage act, you know, not in front of the audience?
Yeah, we had a bit where he was... When we were on stage, and we had him in the audience with his parents, and... Rowan came on, and he did a great big mime act, you know, doing Rowan faces. And McEnroe was watching it and just started shouting, you know, I did not rustle, mate, sweet papers. And had an argument with his parents while Rowan was doing his mime. And it started off that Rowan's mime was quite short. And my bit was quite short. And as the run went on, Rowan's mime got longer and longer and longer. And my shouting got longer and longer. And Rowan started making up all sorts of bits of mime. So we'd have a thing where the audience would finish looking at me and then turn round and Rowan would be doing more mime. And that would go on for about 5 minutes. And then I'd get my bit in again. So it got a bit overstretched, I think, in the end.
Yeah. What was your inspiration in those days for your characterisations?
Well, it was mainly impressions then. So I wasn't really inspired.
Who did you do?
I did, thank you very much. Good old Tommy, he was brilliant, Tommy Cooper.
Old Tommy Cooper, yeah.
Actually, Chris Tarrant used to say that club managers in the old days used to give prizes if anybody could guess who I was trying to do. I used to do Tommy Cooper, and I used to do Dave Allen. It was all, like, really easy stuff. Because being black, people don't really associate you with being an impressionist, which is silly, really. Because you just go, thank you very much. Like that. And then you go, I've been having a bit of trouble. And then you go, good evening. It's Dave Allen, see? Yes. And I do Clement Freud. I thought Henry was very good. And I do Henry Cool. Oh, he's a good boy. He's got a good right hand. Then I do, I'm so fast. I'm so tough. Then I do, wobble me great nuts. It's really wonderful. So, do you know what I mean? So you do...
But you did cartoon characters when you started,
well, that was the main inspiration at school, because just to impress your friends, you know. And it was really handy to be able to do, you know, Top Cat. OK, men, let's move. I gotta get this on the road, boys. Brain, what's the time? Well, the big hand is pointing straight up, and the little hand is pointing to the 5. So the time is... Forget it, Brain. Choo-choo, what's the verdict? I'm with you, TC. And I used to like Scooby and Scooby-Doo. Do you remember Scooby-Doo? Yes. Because that was my friend's favourite. So it used to be Raggy. The way Scooby-Doo used to laugh was brilliant. Raggy. And do you remember Shaggy? Fancy being called Shaggy. Me and my mates used to wait for them to say, you know, come on, Shag. Bloody
Did any of the famous ones defeat you?
No. Well, I only had to watch Mike Yard and then I could do it. This is a bit weird, because I'd watch what he was doing with his voice. I'd go, oh, he's doing Harold Wilson. He's going like that, hello, my friend. And then you know, I could get it from him, really, or from Paul Melba or whoever, you know.
Can you do Donald Duck?
No, could you do it?
Well, I go... Well, I can't do words.
You're a sick person. I always wanted to do those. I mean, because there were quite a lot of talented kids in my class, and there were loads of them who could do impressions. I mean, I wasn't the only one. I was just the one who had the bottle to go on stage.
Your folks are from Jamaica. You were born in Birmingham, were you? Or
Born in Dudley in the West Midlands.
Yeah. Did you...
Hello, Mum.
Did you find...
Soon, the keys on the mantelpiece.
Did you find the accent was a gift as a comic? Is there something about that part of the
Dudley accent? Well, it's really strange, you know, because for a long time I didn't actually like it. It's really weird, because I had this sort of like, are you going all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Where are you going? I'm going down the road. And you'd be in a club, you know. We used to go clubbing a lot when I, you know, in my teens, you know, and you'd see a vision, a siren of loveliness standing across the other side of the room, you know, and you'd be going, I've got to talk to her. Oh, my God, she's so fine. So he'd be going, I bet she's gorgeous, you know. And he'd go, what's your name? She'd go, No, yeah, well, you can get yourself back home, all right? Because I ain't gonna give you a lift.
The PM has been very good to you, but what sort of reaction do you get from the audience when you do her around the country?
Well, it's interesting because, you see, when I'm just myself, everything is absolutely normal and natural. And then when I take on this rather gracious image, it's extraordinary how people are kind of disciplined by it. I mean, if I give you an example, when I'm in the studio and when I'm just being myself, fine. Then I go to lunch and perhaps I'm going to do a Margaret Thatcher impression after lunchtime. So I get my wig on and my suit on and I go up to the dining room and I sit down and everybody's chatting, everybody's having a good time. And then I say, would you mind passing the salt? And immediately, immediately people kind of freeze and they say, I know it's you, Janet. I know you're sitting there, but somehow we're inhibited, you see. So it does alter things quite a lot.
Do you ever actually feel a bit like Margaret Thatcher yourself? Because you have to concentrate so much around her, you know.
Yes, well, there was only one time when we were doing a program and I was really in that outfit all day long, from morning till late at night. And by the time I'd finished, I felt I just had to get out of everything because I was kind of drowned in it. And I don't like that. I like to get back to being myself.
Have you had to change your impression of the Prime Minister over the last couple of years? Because she has changed quite a bit, really.
Well, she has altered a lot, yes, because she's no longer the anxious lady she was at the beginning. You know, particularly if she'd been answering questions, she would have been right forward here, you see, and very, very eager to look into your eyes. But now she's right back, sort of enjoying life and taking it easy. She's completely changed.
And her voice actually has changed, hasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Register, you know.
A great deal. When I first met her, I went to the House of Commons and we did some pictures together. And I said to her, because the photographer was in the room, I said, would you mind very much if I do a little bit of you, as it were, so that I can get this look on my face? And at that time, she did speak very, very slowly. So when I did this, it right into her face, she said, good Lord, I don't talk like that. I said, well, no, but I had to hold that look so we could get the picture.
You've actually been very busy over the Christmas period. You've had your own show in Bournemouth. So
yes.
Have you been able to add any new characters, new voices to your act?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But, of course, this is the thing. You're always on the lookout with impersonations, but there isn't any good taking a new person if everybody doesn't know them. But I suppose the characters that have meant such a lot at the moment in the shows are the new ones, the hidey-high characters. I think it just shows, you see, what affection the audience have for these people. Because Sue Pollard, whom I just love, when I go out there and say to the audience, mind you, I have the glasses on and suddenly say to everybody, hello, campus. Mr. Fairbrother's standing over there. And he says if I do a good impression, he might let me become a yellow coat. and the really nice thing is that all the audience believe this. And when I finish the number and I say, he says I could be a yellow coat, they all go, hooray! So, you know, it's really rather nice. And, of course, they love Ruth Maddock. because the contrast is tremendous. I mean, there's such strong characters to do, because you always have to look for people who have very strong sort of details about them that the public all know. And with Ruth, I had quite a lot of difficulty. Do you want to hear about it?
Oh, sure.
Because,
Yes.
you know, I had quite a lot of problems with her because, first of all, when I was doing my own series, they wrote a sketch. They said, you must do a Ruth Maddock. Then I said, oh, yes, I'd love to do that. Then I watched her, and one thing I can't do is look at a video relentlessly and hope that the thing will happen. It's a very spontaneous thing, an impersonation. You see something and you think, oh, yes, oh, that's great, I love that. I mean, there's something about you, but I'll tell you later. Oh. And the thing with her, I thought, no, I'm not getting anywhere at all. And then I happened to put a video on to see somebody else with their clothes and the detail to that. And a little piece of Heidi High was at the end. And she suddenly walked through a door, and I thought, I know what she's all about now, because everything with Ruth Maddock is on a breath, you know. Everything she has to say is on a breath, you see. She says, Heidi High campus. And then she takes a little breath. And then she's always staring into the man's eyes, isn't she, you see? And all that sort of thing, that sort of feeling, and the way she walks, and the way she holds her body. And when I saw that, I thought, that's what she's about. But that sort of eluded me till then. And then you kind of tie them up together, and away you go.
Actually, do you actually observe all your friends and your colleagues? Are you always watching for little mannerisms?
Well, it's a kind of an unconscious thing, really. I do take in people around me. I see them doing something, and I think, isn't that funny? I have told this before, but it did make me laugh. I have a friend of mine, and we haven't got a table napkin. But anyway, let's just pretend with the script. Can I just touch this for the moment? And if we're sitting together at the table, you see, and she's chatting quite seriously, she takes her table napkin and she says, well, Jan, I don't know about you, but I think the state of the world is absolutely terrible. And she proceeds to roll it all up. And when she's got it all rolled up, she then unrolls it all up. And then, in the middle of all this, while she's sitting at the table chatting, she takes the table napkin and she proceeds to clean all the table and says, well, of course, you see, if I were... she just has no idea that she's doing it. And I said to her one day, I said, do you know what you do? And I showed her, and she said, I don't do that. I said, you do? And I said, I've got another friend, and she sits at the table with her table napkin, and she says, well, and she and she starts to sort of fold the sheets, you know, all this sort of thing while she's talking.
So and you put my words back? I don't know where I am.
And they have no idea they have no idea they're doing it. I had two women in the ladies' room the other day, and one was saying to the other one, and I thought I must listen, and she was saying, would you like a blue purse? Could you do with a blue purse? And the other one says, oh, why are you saying that? She said, well, I got a blue purse for Christmas, and you know I never wear blue. I wear brown all the time, never blue. Now, I've got a blue purse and a brown purse, so could you do with a blue one? And I thought, I just got to listen in to all these little bits of chat that go on. They all make for dialogue for
well, you know, Barbara Woodhouse has been such a successful character for you.
Yeah.
I mean, was she an obvious choice the first time you saw her?
Well, she's such a powerful lady. And you know, the first time I did see her, a scriptwriter rang me and said, you must do an impression of Barbara Woodhouse. And I hadn't seen her. And he said, you must look in and see this woman. Well, of course, when I saw this lady saying, look here, do this and do that, and sheer death into me. And I thought, she's marvelous. I must do an impression of her. So the next thing is the physical situation, because she's a larger lady than I am, considerably, especially up here. And again, you might like to hear what we did, because I have to try and look as near physically as possible. So I had the sweater and the skirt and my little blouse and my flat shoes and my woolen stockings and everything else. And I said, what can we do about up here? So somebody said, well, we'll get you a padded bra. So they brought this bra, and I said, no, because, you know, when she walks along the outside, and you know, everything kind of, you know what I mean? It all sort of says hello, you know. So I thought, what can we do about this? So they produced different bras, and then I suddenly said, I tell you what, to get that kind of look, why don't we try a couple of balloons with water in them? It's true, it's perfectly true. And let's put them down. So the wardrobe proceeded to blow up the balloons, you see, and say, how about this for size and things. So it very eventually I had these 2 balloons tucked into my bra, and we were out on location all day, we were working outside, and I said, give me hot water, whatever you do, or I'll freeze, you know. So I had them filled with hot water. And I was going around quite happily. And, of course, with the sound system, because of walking about and training the dogs and all sorts of things, the sound boys had put a little microphone down here. And while I was in the middle of all the lines, one of the fellows came out of the control room of the caravan, and he said, look, do you mind if we stop for a few seconds? We're having terrible trouble with your dialogue. Could we just have a look? And I found that the microphone had slipped in between the bra, and all they were getting was the water just sort of... So that was my day with Barbara Wood.
Don't you also use lentils? I mean, I'm not saying that you're stuffed with lentils today or anything like that.
No, well, of course, this is where they're very helpful in wardrobe about getting the natural look. And with these characters that are rather large ladies, Peggy Mount, for example. Well, I was doing a Barbara Wood house with the water and the balloons, and I said, what are we going to do for Peggy Mount? So they said, we'll fill them with lentils, because they get that kind of, you know... I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean. And I said, it's a pity they couldn't both meet up. We could have made soup.